Senators Durbin, Murray, Stabenow, and Senator Baldwin. Now, we had a great, happy, and spirited discussion in our caucus. Democrats are ready and eager and united to finish this Congress on a very strong note. We are excited for the future with a new and hopefully a little larger majority than we had in the last Congress. This Senate, the longest 50-50 Senate in history, has been extraordinarily productive. Nearly 2 years into the Democratic majority, I want to take a moment to highlight the many, many accomplishments we've secured in this chamber under Democratic leadership. It's the most in recent memory. The American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Plan, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, an omnibus package, and so many others in between. What people failed to see, then see now, it served us very well in the election. While Republicans were tossing firebombs over the wall, engaging in nasty, divisive rhetoric, just spewing forth lies about the election, we Democrats were focused on issues that mattered to people. So of the two big things that happened this year, one, we had a historic legislative session, and two, against all odds, we kept the Senate majority. The two are intrinsically related. And a lot of people forgot that. A lot of people just went for the firebomb of the day that was thrown by the Republicans instead of looking at actually what our candidates were talking about. Getting prescription drug costs lower for the public was one of their top priorities. We did it. We talked about it. We won the election. And that could be repeated on issue after issue. And we're continuing to move forward in the lame duck. We always try to work when we can on a bipartisan basis. Of our major bills, most of them were passed bipartisan, and now we're going to move forward on a bipartisan basis, led by Senators Baldwin and Sinema, on the Respect for Marriage Act. I know passing the Respect for Marriage Act is as personal as it gets for many senators and their staffs, myself included. My daughter and her wife are actually expecting a little baby in February. And so it matters a lot to so many of us to get this done. We're going to hold our first procedural vote on the bill tomorrow. After that, I hope that both sides can work quickly together and move this bill forward onto the President's desk. And I have a plea for the Republicans and advice. If you embrace MAGA, you're going to keep losing. You're going to lose more. The embrace of MAGA in 2018, 2020, and 22 didn't work. We welcome you to work with us on a bipartisan basis to get things done for the American people. We're not going to have to get everything we want. They're not going to get everything they want. We'll stay true to our principles, but we're willing to compromise to get things done. That has been our watchword for 2 years, and we're going to continue it. We hope the Republicans will understand that. They're not going to understand it this week in the middle of all these heated elections for their leadership. But when we come back in January, hopefully after a productive lame duck session, at least a number of the non-MAGA Republicans will do what so many of them did with us now, and some of them are doing with us on the Respect for Marriage Act, and that is work with us in a bipartisan way and get things done. Get things done. What happened last night with Kari Lake, that's proof positive that this MAGA stuff doesn't work. She was a great communicator. She still lost in a purple state. And that's happened repeatedly throughout this election. To follow the ministrations of Rick Scott, the guy who said cut Medicare, the guy who said tax the middle class, would be suicidal for the Republicans. So I hope that they, for the good of the country, but also for the good of themselves, because we want people we can work with, will understand that. So we're going to keep working, pushing forward, and work for American families. Let me call on Senator Durbin.